Boys, just calm down. We don't need to throw punches just yet.
I just watched 3 premierships in 4 years just to watch this shit again.
The big angry men who run around in fashion bodies.
If I see anyone complain or say that they can swap Martinelli for Matt and Mbappe, that's their
I'm just dreaming of beers.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of the Uneducated Nuffies. Boys, we're back. How are we? How was your weekend?
Good. Weekend was interesting to say the least. I was very happy with a couple of results that happened, but there was a massive sport event on this weekend. What shocked me to my core. It wasn't the AFL. Well, definitely not the NRL.
That was an event.
Have any of you guys ever watched Esports League?
But can you say it properly?
The ESL.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Yeah, the Esports League.
Yeah.
So I had the not so privilege of working on it last night. They had the grand final at Rod Laver Arena. It was sold out. What was the first shock to me of all? How are they selling out a 10,000 stadium arena for fans to go watch some guys shoot each other in a video game?
Okay, so as someone who's had 3,000 hours in CSGO minimum, I understand it.
It was for Counter-Strike 2, if any of you don't know. I think there was Vitality. Is that the team?
That's Vitality,
Yeah, they won. And it was actually a good last match. Like, went on for a lot longer than I wanted it to go on for.
Why? Did you get home late or something?
Yes, it was a
You
very
were
late
tired?
night. I was very tired. I had a long day, but I didn't realize how big esports actually is.
It's massive.
For a sports pod, maybe we should. I don't want to talk about esports, by the way, but it's something that.
That's it. New challenge week. You're playing Counter-Strike after saying
No, but it was a bit surprising. But that was my weekend. I was a lot of work. Carlton won, so very happy.
Sad. Sad. How was your weekend?
Mine was good. Long weekend, obviously. Also went to my first Anzac Day.
Finally.
Only took 22 years.
Got it in the end.
Yeah. Anyway, if I didn't have my parents and girlfriend with me, I'd be running through many brick walls,
Oh, the
punching
Had to
multiple
stay
people.
composed.
Had to stay composed because,
Anzac ceremony is
yeah,
an otherworldly experience.
after national anthems, minutes of silence,
The whole
Last post.
all they do.
yeah, as Dan on his podcast said, that siren, everyone just starts going absolutely nuts. It was like 3 minutes of just absolute mayhem.
It's one of the craziest things because where in any world you get 90,000 plus people to stay silent for a couple minutes,
Bear in mind, this is Essendon and Collingwood fans. This is not good people.
correct.
We had both absolutely
but
terrible.
they stay quiet, dead silence, the MCG, and then just the eruption.
it
It's
erupts.
better than any eruption for the whole season.
It's very good. It's unreal.
That was great. Now, what I want to comment on is some etiquette, alright?
Collingwood fans and etiquette?
No, this is Essendon fans.
It's
that-
still etiquette?
How many times is it acceptable to leave your seat during a quarter?
One.
Once if you need the toilet, another one if you want to get a drink.
You can do both at once.
Yeah.
Well, you might forget. I don't know.
Forget how to wee.
Yeah. It's Essendon fans talking about. Come on now.
I had at least 3 people in my aisle leave 2 to 3 times per quarter.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Were they
I
coming
wonder
back?
what they're doing.
Were they coming back with drinks or were they?
So they went to get drinks multiple times, but they get 1 drink at a time.
So they're not doing the.
What gender?
What's that got to do with it, man?
I'm just curious.
They were both.
Okay,
There's
that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
Toilet. Some of them were just like, "I'll give me annoying real quick." I'm like, "I'm going to bash you if you say that again."
That's why you never get like near end aisle seat. You always go smack bang in the middle, so you don't have to worry about who are going in between.
I would have, but they basically every single time was like 1 free booked, 1 free booked. So when you need 4 tickets for Anzac Day, you're not really judging what tickets they are.
Getting 1 ticket to that game's a struggle. So
Yeah. Anyway, great experience. We'll talk about it more later.
Jimmy, how was your weekend?
no, mine was good. Obviously watching it that day from home. I couldn't get a ticket. I could have, but it was 1 ticket by myself in the members, and I didn't want to go by myself. So
members, friends.
I stayed at home and watched it with my friends. Look, I'm not upset with it at all. It's a great day. It's a good day for footy. Then I actually went down to the NBL 1 on Saturday. Good league. There's some good
We're going to
players.
talk about that later on too. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I watched a game there. Up from a bar as well. Watching NBL 1 from a bar is pretty fun, I found out. So that's my weekend. Just we should go to an NBL 1 game because it is genuinely good sport.
Who's your NBL 1 team?
Eltham Wildcats.
Bendigo.
Bendigo Pioneers. I'm a
Pioneers.
that the women's one, isn't it?
That's the TAC Cup team.
Ah, what are they called, Ben? Oh, the Braves.
The Braves and the Girls of Spirit.
Yes.
Spirit won the flag.
Yes, they did.
Spirit may be the most genuinely dominant team.
Yeah, they
dominate. Yeah,
I'm a Ringwood Hawks guy myself.
No, Eltham
Really?
Wildcats.
Do you live there?
He doesn't live in Eltham.
Do you live at...
I'm not disclosing where I live.
I just said you don't live in Eltham.
Well, yeah, I don't, but now we're not going to go any further into it.
Absolutely, the Crows were wrong. In front of me.
We're going to engage with our mind.
Well, do you think they didn't come to play? Do you think they sat in their cars waiting for the game to start, then go out there?
Well, we had a great round this weekend to commemorate the Anzac Day, the Anzac Appeal round. One of my favourite rounds of the year. We had some great ceremonies. I just want to bring up something first of all. I think the New Zealand national anthem absolutely shits on the Australian national anthem. When I heard that, I got patriotic and chumming. I'm not even a New Zealander. I thought it was an awesome national anthem.
You Kiwi freak.
I can't understand half the bloody national anthem.
Well, it goes to the Maori than the English version.
Yeah.
But it sounds so much nicer than like the Australian ones. Like we're yelling and like
Yeah.
doesn't sound
that's the
good.
point. I feel like bashing multiple walls after hearing that one.
Yeah, that gets you up and about. I love the Australian national anthem.
But we start off with the snooze fest on Thursday night, where I didn't watch the first half.
I deliberately left this out of the thing.
Yeah, we're going to bring it up.
No,
It was an
it's fine.
absolute snooze fest.
Why are they in prime time? Either of these teams. Why are they in prime
It was
time?
a snooze fest. But then to get the game we had in the wet on Anzac Day, as you guys were the supporters, what did you guys think of the game in itself?
I've heard a lot of this belief that Essendon played really bad on Anzac Day. They didn't.
It was wet.
Yeah, I don't think we played bad at all.
You didn't play bad at all. We were just very good at the end.
Yeah. Well, considering, I think it was 5 minutes left and the game was 3 goals.
Yeah.
So it's still a close game until obviously you kick a few all the way at the end. That happens.
Yeah.
But no.
It was a very close game. It's not what the pundits are making it sound like it was.
I think as soon as the rain came down, Essendon's game planned, because Essendon don't like to play long down the line often, but as soon as that changed to that wet ball footy, they tried to change their plan. It didn't. It had spurts where it worked, but I think what Collingwood did, I noticed the most, was they stayed with the game plan, try and do that nice short, sharp hand passes, get through, and it showed off at spurts where you guys
it
end
did
up.
show in spurts. I would say our more effective part was when we were getting open running lanes, because every single time we went to the handball way, someone was just jumping up like this from Essendon, blocking it.
Yeah, we came forward a lot of the ball, come up hard once the first quarter sort of settled down. So the first quarter and a half looked pretty shaky. Once we stopped messing around with the football especially and actually looked to get the ball forward in the wet conditions was when we looked the best.
Yeah. Now, guys, this is an important conversation here. Last year I hated this man.
Oh, there was plenty of hatred towards this guy.
I hated this man with passion. This year he is the second best rated player in the comp from coaches' votes.
He's 35.
Steel Sidebottom is having a generational run of Unk.
Bold man.
Unk is continually coming.
Was that his first Anzac Day medal or has he won one before?
It's his first
No,
one.
second.
I thought it was his first.
No, he won one ages ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's literally been like, I think
He's
it was
old.
like 10 years between.
It's been a long time since he won it, if
Like-
he won it.
Longevity is.
There were some players who you didn't expect to have a good game that did. Sidebottom being one of them, and then Billy Frampton,
Oh,
15 disposals at 100% efficiency.
well, you look at half of the disposal goals. Pendlebury got 28, wasn't it in the end?
I think he got a lot of ball in the end.
Yeah.
But not so much some of the guys like Houston. I didn't see a lot
Houston
of
was-
disposals.
Houston
Nowhere.
was playing deep. He was playing more for some Maynard, Claymore can go.
He had one of the worst turnovers that led to an Essendon goal I've seen in a while.
I think Jeremy Howes was worse when he had that mark and he went, oh, what happened?
Ugh.
But no, it is very funny now that coaches' votes. Nick Dacos is leading with 34. Steel Sidebottom is at
He's
33.
in second.
Hilarious.
They're not laughing.
No, because
no,
it's not a laughing
it's
matter.
just-
It's
it's just
actually a
crazy.
serious topic.
I want to talk about Essendon though. Like it somehow goes under the radar a little bit. I think that we're actually the youngest side in the comp most weeks when we go out there and play.
Yeah.
This
Even
week
with
you were.
people like Todd Goldstein out
Yeah,
there.
this week Todd Goldstein.
Todd Goldstein boosted a lot.
Todd Goldstein was out there and was still the youngest.
He looked quite good, Goldstein, actually,
He did
in his
well.
return. But I thought Caddy actually presented himself well.
Caddy had his best game of the year.
in his
Zach,
especially in a tough.
Zach Reed down back is
He had a great game.
growing player. He's going to be our best keeper.
Sam Durham had the best 2 minutes I've seen all day and then just disappeared.
No, I think it was pretty underrated. There's a lot of young players in this team. So
It was a bright future ahead. I thought
all the Essendon fans, I think we should be good now. No, we're not.
No.
Just give it a couple of years with this team, let them build, and there'll be a solid finals team in a
when
couple of years.
Tassie comes in.
Yeah.
Wait
for
that
them.
could be 2032.
Well, yeah, but
Now, what is it with Jamie Elliott?
He loves the limelight.
He loves playing you guys and you guys.
he loves the two hated teams.
Essendon and Carlton. Anytime he can clutch, he loves it. He's kicked 5 this time. He really just loves twisting the knife in when it's just there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
But that does mean I have the moral victory
But
this year.
I still
do.
find it's hard to hate him because
He's just good.
he's a good footballer and he doesn't do anything like you want to punch his head in.
Yeah.
No, he just gets it done.
Oh, he does sometimes. I do sometimes.
That's
like
you.
that.
That's you being a fan.
Yeah. Like when the Anzac Day last year, when he decided I'm not gonna mark the ball inside 50, I'm gonna let it run
After
out.
taking mark of the year
Yeah.
as well before. Yeah.
But now I have the moral victory, guys. I
I hate this. I hate this already.
We don't play you again this year as
No.
well.
Oh, we play you again.
Yeah.
If we win that, then I'll be a bit more happy.
So I
Because
still
then I
beat
can go 1-0.
both your teams this year.
Yeah.
But we can then beat you, and then depends on how we go against Essendon.
Nah.
That game's gonna be funny.
We are going to that.
You aren't doing that.
Plenty you.
Anyway. We're the best. So
I hate seeing you guys on top of the table. It's terrible. It's the worst thing since sliced bread.
That's good.
yes, that's really good. This is actually really, really
I
good.
like bread.
Collingwood's really good then.
It's horrid. It's the worst thing since walk wrongs.
But
Anyway.
there were some interesting games, some good games, some stinking games. Obviously, we'll go through Freo Crom, two teams who we thought were going to be really good, just inconsistent.
They both don't know how to win away from home.
That game was so frustrating. I watched a lot of it, and you know when like they string together 2 or 3 chains and like, oh, this is going to be a good player, just stops for no reason as well.
Biggest travesty. Dudley was subbed.
Dudley was sub. Phil Thorpe's finger was piercing out of his skin.
No.
There's no way he's going to play this week. He cannot play on that.
He'll just have a finger brace on.
No,
Yeah.
just rest him. You want him
You
playing
would say
that? Yeah, I know, because we're playing him. But would you not want him rest him this week in a game that they still should be winning even without him? But rest him, make sure he's fully healthy. Let that dislocated finger heal a little bit more instead of risking him again and it getting worse.
I don't think so. I don't think he will. Because this is his breakout year. This is the year where he becomes
I think if you're going to play with any injury, you're going to play with a finger or a toe injury.
Yeah.
Usually what people play on. So
And he doesn't have to do as much rocking next week, so they'll probably just chuck someone else in there.
especially if he's
Tex.
Fogarty definitely out this week.
Yeah, Fog's out.
Folks
So-
still out for a couple more weeks.
More likely that he'll play. About Freo though, Andy Broshan's putting together a sneaky All-Australian year.
He might be a Brownlow threat.
Yeah.
He is.
He was a Brownlow threat a couple of years ago.
He's
Yeah,
threatened
he's back to that form.
at spurts over the last couple of years, but he's really sort of taken over that midfield. We thought it was going to be Strong's midfield, but it's really sort of seen that Brayshaw is that leader. He's a bit more experienced than Sarong.
Well, it's more now. David King made a good point for once. This is a massive.
He makes lots of good points.
When he has his HP laptop. So Sarong is getting normally tagged each week.
Yeah.
Brayshaw's
so
not getting
Brayshaw's
tagged.
free.
Brayshaw last year was getting tagged 80% of the time. He has not been tagged properly yet this season.
It's a very good 1-2 threat. He's
Yeah.
and then you have Young Draw.
Quite handy.
Yeah, so
They should be so much better than they are though.
Plus,
Jesus Christ.
plus the profile of Brayshaw matches better with Bolton and everywhere else running through than Sarong.
Bolton's he's getting real good, better each week.
Yeah. So good thing he's at the pressure point now, guys.
Yeah, well done, Shay.
Now doggies.
What the hell?
I predicted this at the start
Woof.
of the year.
You'd think because Sam Darcy went down late in the first quarter last week. In the 7 quarters they've played since then, they've won by 100 points.
They really look, ever since Bont's come back, they've looked like a different team.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They have looked.
They even had the luxury.
His leadership, everything. I think what they're putting together. Tim English played a good game. That's the biggest thing to come out
They
of
had
this.
the luxury to sub him off a 3/4 time on the weekend, which
Yeah, I know.
is great.
After being close game at half time.
That third quarter, they blew him away.
Yeah.
GWS is slightly just. I don't know what is going on there. Are they in cruise control or is it just like? Are they not trying to?
They did this last year. They had a real big mid-season slide before they regrouped and got back together.
Because I was listening to SEN this morning, and there was I think that there was Giants fans complaining that it's pretty much almost an away game because they have to travel down there. But
Those
They
players.
have fans.
who?
Those players, not fans. There's no fans to go.
They don't have Giants.
They don't
Giants
travel
fans
to
don't
Canberra.
exist.
But no, so what would be the best point of call for Giants decision making right now. What is going on in their midfield? That their halfbacks are being their best ball users
Ashton Whitfield every week.
every week.
Best players.
What is happening with Callahan? He's not as effective ever since he signed that contract. He's still getting 27 touches a game. Doesn't mean they're effective.
They have the worst number 2 and 2 option, or probably 3rd option forward in Stringer. Good thing you guys let him go.
I couldn't be happier how this is going. This is awesome. I'm having the best hate watch every week.
Hogan has to deal with right now a shit Cadman, Stringer who can't string anything together right now.
He's gone.
Toby Green who can't kick a ball.
He's had.
What was that point?
He's in a. He's. Fuck.
What was that point?
Riccardi who had his best game of the season.
They've
Probably
got
the
guys
last
in the
3
VFL
years.
who are kicking 4 goals a game. Surely they're going to bring one of them in.
They have to. They have to try
They
something.
will this week.
They've got one
Their
guy.
defense is so good,
The defense is amazing.
but their midfield and attack has been, and especially their ruck situation right now. Briggs is having his worst season by far.
And they don't have one really to replace him for the moment.
No.
It's Lockie Keefe.
Yeah, because they don't have Madden in right now, do they?
No.
It's Lockie Keefe or it's Briggs. So
That's a big issue. Now, with that, we head to where pressure's always at, Port.
pressure cage.
Pressure cage. How the hell did North nearly win that game?
I was loving seeing it 3/4 time. All the North boys getting into Horny, the Horn Francis, and they had to get like 5 of the Port Adelaide support staff to try and calm him down.
Yeah.
He cracked it.
Wasn't happy. But North, they've shown at times this year that they can be a threatening team. I think the first game they played against, was it Melbourne they beat their first game?
Yeah,
They looked actually really dominating.
Yeah.
But ever since then, they've just sort of gone back into their shell of last year. But they sort of showed a bit more fight this week. I think having Jackson Archer back in their team helps strengthen that back line a little bit more than what it's been.
Yeah, it's better than having Sullivan play as
Or
a back
Aiden
pocket.
Core being in the team in general.
How's Darcy Tucker having a great stat this week?
the
Zero
cardio.
disposals.
He didn't. Only reason why he avoided Tony Snell was he had 3 tackles.
Yes. What is that
How do you
stat?
drop 70% time on ground and have a cardio game? Like, are you running away from the ball?
That was
You're
impressive.
worse than Billy.
No,
Billy's been good. But Paul Curtis was a bit stiff. Obviously, the MRO's handing down a 3-match ban. North Melbourne are going to appeal for it.
It has to.
It has to.
But if you watch the tackle, he didn't do much
What could
wrong.
he do?
His knees to try and
But-
stop it.
Yeah, and then was it Sin who got concussed? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sort of pushed him twisted his body, and that's why that whiplash effect occurred. But I think just the MRO hate North Melbourne.
Where's this come from?
Jackson Archer 3 weeks. Now Paul Curtis. They just hate him.
That's too. So if you guys had this, actually no, that's a bad example. You guys wouldn't have suspensions. You have.
Say we had this. There you
Yeah.
go. That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be. Everyone would be like, oh, does MRO hate Essendon? No, it just happened to be the same incidents in a different team. I don't think they hate North. North are just getting incredibly unlucky that they've had 2 of these incidents already this season.
It's ridiculous. There's no way it should be suspended.
We shouldn't be doing it because of outcomes. We should be doing it because of actions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
literally.
but that's not what the MRO
That
look at. The
footy
MRO
acts-
are going off outcomes now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, and I say shouldn't because MRO is not supposed
That
to.
tackle happens 50 times a game in football.
I reckon that 50 times on Anzac Day that happened.
Well,
nothing happened.
they posted a highlight of when the Wiz ran Harley Reid down last night.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same tackle.
Just
He
didn't
just
get
didn't
concussed.
get concussed.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
If Paul Curtis gets 3 weeks for that,
We should
the whole
take a stand.
Everyone should be suspended for 3 weeks.
Yeah. Give everyone 3 weeks off. We'll go to Bali.
Yeah.
I'm not denying Barley.
All players for 3 weeks go to Bali.
Apart from Jordan DeGoey, he can say it.
Yeah, he's banned from Bali.
No, let him go to New York.
Yes, we're going to win every game because he's only playing in the field. Let's go.
Jesus Christ.
Should we get to the Blue Baggers? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm ready to
I
talk
know
about
you
it.
want-
Wait, can I see? Oh, no, there's a game before that. Gold Coast.
They're good.
Oof.
Sydney
Sydney
so
is shocking.
fraudulent. I was once again right about them this season. They are so bad. After having one of the best half.
Also,
How do they go from losing against Richmond to having a win against Sydney like that?
back
Can
at
we
home,
talk about that?
Back at home would have copped an absolute lashing from Dimmer during the
Dimmer
week.
would have had. Dimmer like, this is just Marvel's fault.
I hate Marvel.
And then they get back home, and then the first half they weren't playing great. They were down by 15, 20 points.
Yeah.
And then I think they kicked 12 goals in a row in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Blew them out the water.
I think it was 7 goals to 1 in that third quarter.
Yeah.
It was a domination. They're
Sydney
seriously good team.
Sydney though, so many questions. They get Melican back. They can't defend Ben King. They can't defend Bailey Humphrey. Bailey Humphrey had his best game in his career.
The forward lineup.
You can see how much they miss Errol.
But I don't know if it's the Errol thing.
There's a lot of issues, especially their back line
Their
and
back
forward
line
line.
and forward line both just suck.
Because the reason they did well so because everyone was ticking last year, but as soon as 2 or 3 of them go down not performing, there's a lot of questions. Maybe it's Coxie. Maybe they need Horse back.
No, Horse isn't going back.
Horse is out of there.
Horse is going to North.
I mean, the one good news they did have was that Chad Warner signed a new deal.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals where he signs 2 years and leaves.
He's going to Tassie for $10 billion a year.
And he played a lot better. He played his best game
We
of the
did.
year. But there's a lot of issues at Sydney right now. And they are in strife.
It's a sinking ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should have run ship.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, it just happened to disappear.
Oh, no. We're going to talk about... Because finally,
You had a good win.
that was impressive.
If you played well and you won a game.
We've finally beaten a team who's actually good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carlton, obviously, we didn't have much hope or really things going into this game. We're just sort of like, let's see how we go. If we can compete, I said to, I think it was last week, if we can compete and lose by less than 20 points, I'll be happy. But the performance they put out on the weekend was absolutely phenomenal. Our backline looked the strongest it's ever been this year. Nick Haynes having an absolute masterclass game intercepting with 8 intercept marks.
Must have Alzheimer's gone back about 20 years.
Jacob Wiedering has one of the best rundown chases on Patrick Dangerfield to stop a...
That whole just play was funny. Because they're both just holding each other.
Yes.
And then Dangerfield falls over.
Our forwards are finally kicking at all sorts, with Harry and Charlie both looking good. And our midfield looks ridiculous at the moment.
It's crazy what happens when Paddy Cripps actually performs one
Yes.
week.
Paddy Cripps played his first good game of the year.
It is good to see Carlton playing. Like, I don't think Geelong played bad. It's good because Geelong didn't shit the bed. They played, I thought, okay. I don't think they had a bad game.
I think you're on the point if you could have blown them out and then because they're Geelong, they made a massive charge in the last
I
quarter.
got a bit worried when they kicked the first goal in 13 seconds. I'm like, oh
Well,
no, we're going to lose by 6
Jeremy
goals.
Cameron decided to show up, which I think he wakes up and depends on how he's feeling. That's how he plays.
Yeah.
Because he was phenomenal yesterday as well.
But I believe this is it's a season turning performance, something like this. To get a win like that after the struggles we've had, I'm not saying we're back. I'm just saying we've turned a corner. If we beat Adelaide this week, then we can ask the question.
It's a good confidence building win. Because you got challenged. Because a roll there, you're looking real shaky, and then Harry had a massive mark, kicked a big goal.
Yes, George Hewitt kicked a massive goal from 60. But
It's a good win.
every time Carlton have something go right their way, we get 2 injuries. Zach Williams is now going to be out for, they're saying, close to 6 to 8 weeks. And then probably our most consistent and best player all season in Jack Silvani's now broken his hand. Can we get any sort of luck?
When did this happen?
Apparently it was in a marking contest with
I know
Dangerfield.
Williams was out straight away.
Yeah, Williams, we know that was it. But I didn't think Silvani got injured.
Zach Williams is a glass man, so he's
He's always been...
And you're paying him a lot of money.
Yeah, but he's playing at least a bit better football now. But
Oh, he plays well when he plays for you.
He just doesn't
play for you.
But then Silvani was literally he's been our second best back all season. And then for this to happen, you're like, Lewis Young has to come back in now.
Against the Crows forward line, which
Texas
is
has 25 goals. He's breaking the record of how many goals he can score.
So I'm interested to see how we go next week. There's some good games next week,
Do
actually.
you want to go through them now and pick some?
Yeah, let's go
pick some
ahead.
winners?
Let's go ahead.
Thursday night's another great primetime game.
Ah,
There's
solid.
plenty of them this year. The Bombers play North at Marvel.
What a game.
Who thought this was a good idea?
What a game. I'll be working on it. It'll be great.
Who
I'll
thought
be
this was a
there.
good idea?
I'll be there with a good mate.
I'll be avoiding it.
I'll say the Bombers win this one.
Bombers win that.
You're winning by 5 billion points.
If you don't beat it by 30 plus points, I'll be disappointed.
I think we'll win by 2 goals in a typical Essendon performance. Friday night's no better. It's St Kilda versus Fremantle at Marvel.
What are these primetime games? AFL.
Are you trying to make money, AFL?
Saints are in awful form.
I'd go on Freo, even though Freo still worry
I'm
me.
going Saints.
I'm going to go the Saints because Freo do my head in.
Both teams worry me. It's a boring game.
From there, we get the blockbuster up in Ballarat. The Doggies' first game there for the season. They got Port. I feel like they play each other in Ballarat a lot. Or is
Yeah,
that-
it's because no one wants to go from Port to Melbourne to watch Doggies.
So what would Port do there? Would they go flying to Melbourne and then go drive back into Ballarat?
I reckon they fly direct to Ballarat.
Flying to Ballarat Airport.
That's a disgusting trip.
Or make a detour through Mildura then.
Go to Bendigo
Why would you-
Airport and then it's actually further away than Melbourne.
No, initially.
I'm going to go Doggies. Doggies are in good
The
form.
Doggies are just firing on the moment.
Yeah, it's Ballarat as well.
Yeah. First good game of the round.
Yeah.
Adelaide Oval. Crows play the Blues. Big game.
I know what you're going to say.
I'm going Blues. I'm backing us to win this week. It's the first time I've backed us since Richmond. So we know how that went.
If Phil Fort plays, I reckon I would have the edge to Adelaide because I think Rankin will do something ridiculous to get them the win because it's in Adelaide. If Phil Fort doesn't, then no.
But who's going to stop Adelaide's backline? How are they going to stop Charlie and Harry?
You're
They can barely stop one. They barely stop one
you're
forward.
forgetting one thing.
They just kick goals. They don't defend.
Charlie and Ben.
Ben.
Sorry, Harry. Well, could be Ben.
They got Ben.
Could be Ben.
Ben's great. Ben's great.
Maybe Ben was playing. Charlie and Harry have one good week, and then the next week they're going to kick 10 billion points.
Yeah, probably.
So
But I'm going Carlton.
I'm going to go absolute shootout. No defence is being played. It's going to be over 100 points both teams. Just because in Adelaide and near the Crows.
Fair enough.
Big game Saturday. Pies play the Cats at the MCG.
Pies win that.
I've got us.
The Cats.
They're going to
Cats.
bounce back.
Cats bounce back.
I don't mind that.
The Cats are a good team.
Get
They're
us close to the
probably...
top four.
I reckon Billy's going to hold Jeremy Cameron's.
Oh, no way. Chesel will kick 6.
We'll come back next week and we'll talk about this when Billy Friend's kicking
No, but Darcy Moore is back.
He is back.
He is back from not being able to walk straight.
the skip. 30 go.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say the Pies have won too much. I'm sick of them winning. I'm going to go.
I'm too, but they're going to win.
The other game is West Coast versus Melbourne in Perth.
Blockbuster.
Oh,
I've got West Coast.
Big call Eagles win.
yeah, well, let's go Eagles. Let's go
Melbourne won
Eagles
2
for
games in a
fun.
row.
We're getting behind McQualter ball.
They need one win for the year.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Sydney Derby's on Sunday at the SCG. Absolute mid-off right now, that.
Giants still.
Sydney.
Ooh.
Well, Sydney have no offense, so when no offense means good defense.
Yeah, but also GW West have real no offense either.
They got Hogan, that's enough.
They got
for Sydney. I'm going to go with the Giants. The Hawk play Richmond on Sunday, I will the G. I think the Tigers have gone too long without being belted.
Imagine Tigers win this game too.
Imagine the absolute meltdown from the Hawthorn fans. Richmond come.
Well, they were grumpy last night with a 50-point win.
I'm
so.
showing up that happens.
Get the beak out of that.
Yeah, I will. I'm going Hawthorn.
I think the Tigers have had too many weeks off being belted.
Yeah.
I think the Hawks might
They-
absolutely crunch. I'm going to that as well.
I reckon it's going to be at least 80.
Yeah. The best game of the round is the last game of the round. 7:20 on a Sunday night. The Q Clash.
Why is that on a Sunday evening?
The first ever.
Why are all the derbies on weird times?
That is the first ever good Q Clash. in
Andrew
history.
Dillon, what are you doing with his fixturing?
That's the first ever good Q
And
Clash.
Laura
ever.
Jane.
It's
It's a great game.
It's a great game.
It's at the Gabba.
I'm following on. I'm going the Giants. Gold Coast.
I think.
On a roll.
They're on a roll. They literally lost to Richmond.
Ross.
I'm gonna go Brisbane. Just.
It's either go by Brisbane by 40.
I think Gold Coast are a lot better. Brisbane are just doing their thing right now. They've had one blip. I think the Lions will find a way to just get over the line.
My thing with Brisbane is that Brisbane, when they play Gabba Q clashes, rinse Gold Coast each time, no matter how good Gold
They
Coast
do.
are.
But now Gold Coast are a lot better.
I think Gold Coast will lose. They'll lose momentum not playing at People's First, which is
It-
the
it-
worst home stadium other than NG.
It will be a hot game.
What, the hour-long trip up the highway is going to cook him, is it?
Yeah, it's going to cook any Gold Coast person.
Be a good hot game, but
Go
also
from fun city to
time
boring city.
for.
You were trying to segue.
It's a bit hot in here.
It is a bit hot, actually.
Hot takes.
The lights make it hot.
Gotta make sure lighting's good.
Anyway, there's a couple of good hot takes.
Hot takes this
Can
week.
I just lead off with the one I heard on Thursday night
Yeah,
during the commentary? So I actually managed to wake up for the last quarter. Because I'm not kidding, I fell asleep for the second and third quarter. Tough watch. David King, we talk about him a lot and his laptop.
HP. Wonder if
always
he's getting sponsored by the laptop brand.
He has to.
Has to.
Because of this trend that's going
He
on.
loves
on
his
the laptop.
cashies.
What happens if he gets a new HP laptop?
Well, then he's definitely sponsored.
There's not the massive brick that's sitting in the middle of the...
What if you were a MacBook?
That would cause...
Well, that-
I wouldn't be able to do it.
Would cause
I could-
absolute whirlwind in the laptop industry.
I couldn't do it. Anyway, Kingy's talking, and you know when a game's over and they're just talking for the point of talking. It was real those areas because Melbourne had already won. He goes, Richmond kicked 2-3 goals in a row, and he goes, Melbourne have been poor since Max Gawn was taken off. This raises a question on how they play when he's off the ground. No kidding. Less than a minute later, he goes, I love how they're taking Gawn off the ground to give him a rest.
He doubled down on it on Fireball Friday as well. He was talking about how about Melbourne shouldn't have rested Gawn because they're screwed without him. He's really bipolar right now, this guy.
Well, why was he then 20 seconds later going, yeah, good thing, take him off, they've already won.
Supposed best analyst in the game.
You literally love him.
I do love him. Fireball Friday for Ken and King.
Oh my god.
I love SEN.
Garbage.
The
Anyway,
quiz.
moving on to the next best one on Anzac Day, BT. He raised a serious question that we need to talk about. Who has the better highlights? The Dacos brothers or Gary Ablett Sr. and Jr.?
I don't know, mate. The Dacos brothers have some pretty good highlights.
It's not even a conversation at the
It's
moment.
the most
Unless
if me in my drunken state when I heard that and went, hang on, what did I just hear?
If they maybe included Peter, I would maybe hear it. I still don't think they're a top 3 family of all time in AFL.
If you say Silvani's, I'm gonna.
I am saying Silvani's because Serge and Stephen. Not Jack. Serge and Stephen.
I'm just saying, Peter, Nick, Josh.
Serge, Stephen, Jack and Ben.
Yeah, two the shittest players.
Ben Silvani. One game he played at Carlton.
The Danahers are better than all.
Danaher's are another big name. And the
Yeah,
Watsons.
anyway, BT, he's glazed for Collingwood in general and Nick Dacos especially.
As I mentioned,
Off the scale.
did you not remember the Go Around video?
Well, yeah, I remember it, and that's what it brought me back to because I just remembered how much he loves this club.
BT is
He's
the most
off-
painful person to listen to when it's not Triple M.
BT was the funny. When we won the flag, BT, no shit, had sprinted from MCG across to the Collingwood training facilities so he can do the post-game celebrations.
Brian.
Bristle. Anyway, that's just some of the more ridiculous stuff I heard. I also heard Dermot say something, but I forgot it was that bad.
There's a lot of things.
That's why I don't listen to Dermot anymore.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, so I didn't.
That's a mute.
I
That's a
didn't
Kelly
put-
Underwood mute.
Sorry,
That's
Callie's
it.
good.
Yeah, that was no good. So that was my 2 hot takes I heard.
I haven't got any this week. I just mainly had the point that everyone saying Essendon was shit. They weren't. Let's move on.
Big of you to admit that Essendon won't shit for once.
Yeah, no, I can freely admit Essendon weren't shit.
No, thank you.
It was Carlton on the other hand.
Oh boy.
At least we're young.
Do you want to press
Jimmy, do you want to hit the button now?
Steven Seagal, his favourite movie, Steven Seagal.
Isn't the Vox Pops meant to be about a straight bloke taking a piss out of his fist?
I'm glad that's not. I'll just cut back and that comes back to me doing that to you.
Oh, this
And you just right into the microphone. We're at pressure point this week. You know the rules. You know how it all goes.
Bevo.
You know the rules.
Bevo's in the pressure point.
Bevo, Simple, Simon, and Chef Dave.
No. Don't go there.
Let's listen to some amendments to the pressure point from
Yes.
last week. Clarko's lost all his points in the pressure point. He's still in there, but that performance against Port was very good.
If
More impressive.
Let's say, right, if this Thursday, say the Bombers still beat North, but North play well again, is he out or not until
I
they
still think
win?
he needs a win.
Needs a win.
They need a win, okay.
You need a win. If they win this week, he's out.
If they go to hands over and they lose,
To where?
Oh, Bunbury.
That's right. They're playing Freo.
No, they play West Coast in Bunbury, and then they have a home game against Freo at Optus.
Oh, why don't you do Freo and Bunbury and West Coast at Optus?
Because West Coast is shitter.
and
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to play the better opponent away from Optus?
Don't ask me, it's North. I'm not going to do it.
well, so yeah, Dean Cox has added an extra 100 points for that game.
Yeah, they're what is he doing?
Lots of pressure on him right now. Just from us, no one else. Now, 2 new coaches this week, guys.
I questioned this guy last week, but now we're putting him in there, and I want to give reasons for why he has to go in there. Ross Lyon, St Kilda coach. What do we know about? What do we think about when we think about Ross Lyon's coaching? But his structure is he
Defense wins premierships.
exactly.
He hasn't won a premiership, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another point. Also, they are conceding 100 plus points on the regular at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Brisbane comfortably scored 118, I think, in the end.
This is what happens when you lose.
The Doggies scored 130 on them. Giants scored 120 on them. Like,
then he goes to press conferences, act like it's nothing.
No, he just was like...
You're wearing a suit and tie. You can go first.
oh God.
It's like talking to a child.
Anyway, yeah, Ross is going in there because his main thing he's built his coaching career on is flooding defence and not letting teams score. Nowhere at the moment because they are conceding goals for fun.
Now, I've added Adam Kingsley. This was my...
You don't want to fight with that guy, though.
Oh, no, so...
Massive arms.
Pressure points, but I'm also keeping my distance. I live in Melbourne, you live in Sydney. Please don't come to my house. No. Yeah. I was just like, you were doing something else.
Oh, no.
If anyone can translate that, you can come find him.
Anyway.
I'll take one, please.
The Giants mid-season slide they had last year, they're repeating again this year, and if anything, it's happening earlier.
Yeah, it's happening at a more worrying time.
And it's happening at a worrying rate.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been beaten in Canberra. Doggies are hot, yes.
The week before, they scored 30 points.
Yeah.
Which...
They beat St Kilda in Gabba round, yes, but the week before you got beaten.
They lost to Hawthorn and they were by about 6 goals a quarter time.
Yeah.
So
we're staring down right now. They're mid-season. They've got you guys soon.
Mm-hmm.
They've got you guys some point.
not later. Not for a while. Not that we're...
They're still travelling too.
They're still travelling. They're complaining about travelling to Canberra. God.
It's like an hour trip, isn't it? How far is Canberra from Sydney?
It's a 20-minute flight.
Why would you fly?
I think it's like an hour and a half bus ride or something.
Yeah, it sounds like... Oh, no, it's 2.5.
Not a bad travel anyway.
Anyway, that is not an excuse. This currently right now is the worst I've seen this slide. Because you're not performing, you're not scoring. Yes, the win was terrible at Adelaide Oval.
Mm-hmm.
But the way your captain is leading the team right now, missing from right in front, multiple times over the last 2 weeks. Jesse Hogan's your only point of attack, and Jesse Hogan is currently battling with injuries.
And his support group is great. And Stringer and Cadman, who can't put anything together.
The fact that King was saying, let's put Cadman in ruck next week. I want to see him there.
No. He needs to go to the VFL for a little while.
He needs him somewhere in the spotlight. Your defense is amazing, but you're still conceding 100 plus some weeks.
Yeah.
Where does this stop? Is Callum Ward going to be used like Steel Sutherland and Pendlebury when he's not Steel Sutherland and Pendlebury? Let him live. Don't put him in the wing.
Isn't Callum Ward living in Melbourne and flying up?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a weird setup.
That's a lot.
He should have retired last year.
Well, speaking of someone you just mentioned, we're going to go to the players' pressure point. And I'm bringing in someone you already mentioned just before. Toby Green is in the pressure point this week.
I mean,
I gave him a pass. He had one bad game against... Who did they play last week?
Adelaide.
One bad game. That's fine. People have bad games. But he's had 2 stinkers in a row. And when you're the captain of the club, trying to lead this team and actually try and motivate your players to perform, and you're not performing, there's a lot of questions to be asked.
Where was this about Paddy Cruz?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. This is the exact same argument I had, and you go, no.
Anyway, you make a good point though. It's true because Toby has been renowned as a great leader.
Yeah.
He was an All-Australian captain.
Yeah. And at the start of the year, when they were playing their premiership level football, he was one of their best players.
He kicked 5 goals in go around.
I think again in the Melbourne game, he won them the game with his own boot pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's had a very quiet year. Oh, he started okay.
But his last few weeks has not been
Very worried.
Toby Green that you
So
know.
he's in the pressure point.
Another man who we put in there last week, and he's washed. But he's staying there this week because he kicked 4 behinds.
Oh, Mr. El Stringer.
No, Charlie Cameron.
Oh, well, El Stringer probably should also still be. Man.
He's still there. We know he's there. He's there permanently.
Yeah, Cameron.
Charlie Cameron is like he's in a good team.
Yeah, literally.
So
He's
two of
getting old, by the way, too.
Yes.
I'll give him credit, but then also Sidebottom's getting old.
Yeah.
He's playing his best football.
I'm sorry, my old people expectations are much higher now after seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, Charlie Cameron is, but because he was so good a couple of years ago, he's the best ball forward in the comp a couple of years ago, comfortably, and now he looks shit.
But it's sort of a good thing for them to have. He's not playing good football, but the forward line's still ticking.
That's why I say
Better than ever.
he's lucky he's in a good team, because your bad performances don't get as noticed as much.
But then talking about the other one we're talking about, Stringer, do you reckon he's almost losing money now because his skin fat is probably
skin
increasing?
folds?
Skin folds. It's probably increasing a little bit more than what they wanted.
All I'm saying is, pick 48 for him is a pretty good deal right now.
That's a great deal.
Well, we win that deal right now.
You win that deal right now.
We get money off the table. We get a draft pick in.
Great deal right
Sucked in Giants.
I don't think he's losing money right now. I'm sure his skin folds are fine. He just can't kick for the life of him now.
Because he's getting enough chances. He scores multiple scoring
They
shots a
literally
week.
try to feed it to him to try and get him involved.
But you just can't convert. I
Yeah.
know someone who used to be like that.
Yeah,
Harry.
I used to have him on my team, this guy, and it's great not having it.
I had a forward line who did that all last year.
Yeah, so he's staying in there, as well as Cameron.
Brody Grundy's staying in there after being washed in the ex-Collingwood reject Ruckman battle.
He had 9 disposals, Brody Grundy.
Yep, and lost hit-out battle as well. It shows when your team loses in the third quarter when your Ruckman is getting absolutely rinsed.
Well, someone in here, I don't know who put this in here. Am I seeing this correctly? Jesse Motlop is in the pressure point. Who's put him in?
Me.
But I would also put him in the pressure point.
I mean, I could have put him in after round 2, but I decided not to because I thought he was just bad.
Yeah, but then he had 2 or 3 good games. He had one bad game
He had
now.
one good game.
2.
One.
2.
He was not good against West Coast. He was okay against North. Good against North in a game where you were running around on your own pretty much.
And then he had 4 touches against Geelong.
He was absolutely nowhere yesterday.
Well, we've finally realised he shouldn't be our number 1 small forward option.
Really?
What I like, because he shouldn't be.
He's now
Really?
second.
He's our 3rd, practically.
What point are you saying behind Williams?
No, Durden's probably 1,
Yeah.
and then I'd have Fogarty 2 now.
Yeah. Again, though, Lockie Fogarty isn't ever going to be the player you guys have wanted Motlop to be.
Yeah, correct.
He's a good player.
Motlop is supposed to be.
He still is young. He's only 21, 22.
This is the point, though. He's
Still young.
It's his 4th year in the AFL. He needs to be getting more than 4 touches a game.
He should be. Yes, correct.
This is why he's meant to be good. Like Fogarty is your solid contributor forward.
Let's not forget we put Ginneman in the pressure
We
point
did.
as well.
And he came back and kicked 2 goals.
Guinea's back.
So maybe dropping him to the VFL for a week.
I hope we do, but I don't think we will this week because of injuries. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I think because we've already lost a small forward, we won't drop him.
He'll stay in.
He'll stay, but there will be pressure mounted on him if we have a thumping from Adelaide this week. Pressure's on him in the pressure point.
It's a good chance. Adelaide will never go back one. There's a chance for a few of us to kick some goals.
Correct.
And he's one of them.
That's another time, guys.
Another one that's staying in there, though. Shannon Neal's still staying in there because he had another 4 disposal game. Just drop him again, Geelong.
Look, he's just a non-factor anymore. He's not being tech. Hawkins.
He's not the Hawkins one they were looking for.
He needs to be dropped.
No.
Get rid of him.
Medal time.
Medal time.
Where is it?
All rise for the Cripps Dacos
Put your
medal.
arm up there. I really thought so. That would be a really bad way to
Oh, that would have cancelled.
That'd be a really bad way.
We would have been cancelled for the Cripps Dacos medal. But here for round 7, I think we can always get to a point next week. We can probably we can put a ladder up on the screen. We'll give it one more round just to make sure that we've got all the things correct.
Yeah.
But Jimmy, who wants to start with round 1?
Well, I feel like I should get my team.
You should.
Yeah. I'll start with the first game because I'll give the winner the right to say the game between us two. Anzac Eve, absolute snooze fest at the G. Richmond versus Melbourne. We've given 1 vote to Christian Salem, 2 votes to Chef Petrarca, and 3 votes to the best rucker this generation, Maxi Gorn.
Bold man.
Now to the greatest home and away fixture we can ever have. 1 vote to Captain Nick Dacos, 2 votes to Jamie Elliott, and 3 votes to the bold man himself, Steel Sidebottom.
Loving the Baldies get represented here. They're fighting for my bodies. This run comes to an end.
Though.
What?
You're not committing to the boldness yet.
Not yet. I'm 22. They're old. They can be bald. Fremantle versus Adelaide. We gave 1 vote to Rory Laird, 2 votes to Jordan Clark, and 3 votes to Andrew Brayshaw.
Game. Moving back to Marvel Stadium, St Kilda versus Brisbane. We've given 1 vote, Zach Bailey, point of the year, by the way. Most ridiculous point I've ever seen. 2 votes, Nazar Wang and Miller. He is way too good for St Kilda.
Yeah.
Getting back to Adelaide ASAP. And 3 votes, 31 and 3, by the way. Just another standard day for Lockie Neal.
Before we move on, one thing I just noticed. If St Kilda had an ultimatum, it's either you can re-sign Nasiah or you bring Tom DeCone in. Who are you picking?
DeCone.
Nasiah.
I was going to say Nasiah too. Not also because I want Tom DeCone to stay, but
I think though
Nasiah is more of a key pivotal thing
the
than
thing
DeCone.
is, right, I don't think they have the ultimatum because they have $10 billion.
They can sign both of them if they want to.
Now moving over to Adelaide for Port versus North. 1 vote to the new halfback Connor Rosé, 2 votes to Tristan Cherry, and 3 votes to once again he can't spell his name right, Zach Butters.
It is
So
close enough. Sorry. We're going to go to Canberra now with the election coming up. They decided to put an AFL game there. GWS versus Western Bulldogs. 1 vote to James Harms, 2 votes to Tim English, and 3 votes to my former love of my life, Matt Kennedy.
He's having a great year over there.
Don't remind me.
Moving up to the party land, Gold Coast versus Sydney. 1 vote, Ben King, another 5 for him, lazy. 2 votes for I'm definitely staying, Chad Warner.
Well, he's definitely staying for now.
He's leaving after 2 years. 3 votes, breakout game, Bailey Humphrey.
I'm going to talk about my boys now. They've taken over from this one. Carlton versus Geelong. 1 vote to the pickup of the off-season has finally come to his thoughts, Nick Haynes. 2 votes to Feelings, Harry Mackay. And 3 votes to my glorious king, Patrick Cripps.
Quick question. Does BTB now think the All-Australian tip from the Canes is going to be...
He's playing... to be honest, it was only up from his stinker against Richmond, so he's playing at least good football now.
That might have been the worst game of all time.
It is.
Anyway, last game in a round, Hawthorn versus the Weagles, the Wet Toast. 1 vote to Marbio Chol, the drippiest man in the AFL. 2 votes to Josh Battle. St Kilda really could have used him. And 3 votes to the new Hawthorn hit-out leader in the match, Lloyd Meek.
Meek Monday. And went off today.
Meek Monday Eve went off. Can someone grab me some glass to shove in my eyes? Liverpool have won the league that they've had wrapped up for the last 6 months.
No, we didn't catch him. No.
What? It's almost like he kept on choking it every single time he had a chance.
Almost like we started quick simming Premier League games 2 months ago.
Oh.
Anyway, Arnie Slot becomes the first bold man to win in his first season.
Better than Pep.
First ever Dutch coach to win a Premier League title. So now Liverpool have won 2 Premier League titles in the Premier League era.
Good job, guys. 20
in the entirety of whatever the league is.
Yeah.
That ties in with United.
Yeah. So we're going to win next year to make sure we don't have that happen.
You're finishing 13th.
No.
That's generous.
No.
That's
being
generous.
nice to him.
That's generous. But they battered Tottenham at home 5-1.
And just getting sacked.
Tottenham got battered? What?
Tottenham scored the first goal and thought, oh, no way Tottenham win it and break the celebration to Liverpool's heart.
And no.
I've never heard, actually, as much as I hate Liverpool, I've never heard You'll Never Walk Alone so loud after the game. It was quite like...
It was kind of cool.
It was quite like, yeah, it's a good... It's not the best song in the Premier League, but it's good.
It's not compared to North London forever.
It doesn't even compare to City Ground.
Shut up.
With the 20 fans.
I love Kintyre.
Anyway, Barcelona have continued their great form in every single competition they're in, basically.
They're on for a treble.
They're going for a 4. I think it's 4.
Quadruple.
They're a chance. They're quadruple.
Jesus.
They win a Copa del Rey 3-2 in extra time.
What a game it was,
classic.
too.
Absolute classic.
It is probably one of the best finals we'll have all year.
Was it Kunde who scored the winner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got the 1-0 lead, and then Madrid got back in front with 2 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Mbappe free kick in that, and then they tied it up. And
I think it was
extra time
Lamine
come back.
Yamal had 2. He
No,
scored
he
2 of them?
He had assists.
Oh, yeah.
Pedri scored the first. That was a worldie.
That's right, yes.
Absolute worldie.
So with that now, Barcelona could possibly do the 4-heat.
They own Madrid this year.
This is the most dominant Barcelona team since 2010.
I would say more. Everyone else is really crap this year.
This team is not prime MSN.
No,
Yeah, that's what I said. It's the best team since MSN.
Probably.
probably for Barca, yes, because Barca's been in crippling debt ever since then.
Yeah, but they keep getting away with it.
No, well now they're not in crippling debt because they kept on selling their stadium and have Spotify now sponsor. So they're fine. Real Madrid though, when they win, they're happy.
If they lose any sort of game,
Most insufferable fans. They're worse than Carlton fans.
No,
Yes.
Real Madrid fans are Carlton fans.
they're just
Just in Europe.
They're one and the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll come back to them.
We'll come back to them later
And their
because
players.
there's a lot of things that came out of that game.
So much. FA Cup.
Yeah.
We did really good job of predicting it.
Yeah, well done, guys.
You guys both predicted Villa, and they both lost.
No. I predicted City.
Oh, you predicted Villa,
Yeah.
and they lost to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
They
got
I'm the
absolutely
only.
thumped.
Yes.
And then you shut
we
the
lost. We lost. I don't think we. Yeah, we
You
should.
shut the bag.
We should have actually. I thought we were the better team on the day, but the scoreline says
Hey,
otherwise.
did you win though?
Scoreline. That's why I said the scoreline says otherwise. We had plenty of chances and we fumbled it. I had many friends at the game live watching it. But can we also mention City didn't? Their allocated seating in Wembley. They had like 10,000 seats empty.
Yeah, that's a normal City game, isn't it?
Really? City
Which one-
fans.
yeah.
I
like-
We sold out all our seats.
Oh, it's almost like Nottingham. The whole city goes because nothing else happens there.
No.
Manchester City didn't exist fan base wise 15 years.
I saw a City fan explaining on social media, no, they're expensive tickets.
I did say that.
It's
No.
an FA Cup semi-final at Wembley.
Of course they're going to be expensive, but also just everyone else goes.
Just go.
League 2 teams have more fans show up.
Yeah.
Zero.
So then it's going to be a Crystal Palace versus City. Who wins? Who wins out of Crystal Palace and City?
Well, I said City in the initial one, so I'll say City again.
I think it's City, but I'd love to see Crystal Palace win. I'd love to see
I
I
it.
want to
them
see
to win.
Crystal Palace win so they have one white man. And
God. I'll say City because I said them first, but
Yeah, I think it's
I don't
City,
want
but
that.
I want it to be
Palace.
Crystal Palace. I
I'm going for the underdog.
want Crystal Palace.
I want.
I think we all want them.
we all want that.
But now that the Premier League title's at least secured, we have another interesting race towards the end of the season. Right now, there are 5 Champions League spots up for grab because of the rules. You can have 2 teams in Europe.
Or 4.
Get-
3 I forgot, really.
Yeah, two teams in Europe get, or 2 leagues in Europe. Sorry, get an extra spot for the Champions League. So there are 5 spots up for grab. Obviously, Liverpool and Arsenal. It's very hard for them both to miss out.
Liverpool's literally impossible.
I think you guys are like
We'd have to-
99.9.
We would have to lose
You have,
every single
you have to draw at least one game to make it. But right now there is 3 spots up for grab with 5 teams fighting for it. We have Newcastle, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa and Chelsea all fighting for it. Right now it's Newcastle in 3rd, City 4th, Chelsea 5th, Forest 6th and Villa 7th. But Forest do have a game in hand, so if they are to beat Brentford midweek, they would jump into 3rd. With 4 games to go in the season, who is going to be the 3 teams out of the 5 of those to play Champions League football?
Well, Newcastle making it. They're being very good in the second half of the season. Only some little hiccups, but most of the time they're smashing it. City now only have the league to play for. Because the FA Cup's not till after the end of the season. So they'll make it. So it's between 5th and 6th. Because Villa, they'll still...
I will also put this on. A lot of those teams, Newcastle, City, Chelsea and Villa, all at least play one of those 4 teams once.
Yes.
Whereas Forest don't play any of them.
You're going to choke it.
Probably.
I think the pressure will get to you.
Well, we don't have
but-
anything to play for now either,
but-
though.
Hot take. I think there'll be 6 teams from the Premier League in the Champions
Oh,
League.
no!
Tottenham are going to make it.
Tottenham
No.
are playing Champions League football.
No. We're winning Europa League, boys.
Jimmy, who do you think will be the 3 teams?
I'm going to say, I think you're right. Newcastle have been great the second half of the year. They've got a great strike force up top. I think they'll finish 3rd. I think they'll actually come close to finishing second. I think if we stay in the Champions League especially, we do not care right now about the Premier League. They're only 5 points behind us. I think they could even make a run for second. But I'll say they finish third. I'll say City finish fourth just because they're City and they'll find a way to pick up enough points. And then fifth, I think with the game in hand, and as you said, your favourable run home, I think for us, will sneak fifth. Happy with that one?
Yes.
I think they'll sneak fifth just due to the favourable run. They got enough points against the sides around them in the earlier part of the year.
So I believe we have, from memory, we play West Ham, we play Leicester, we've got Brentford this week, and I think we play Chelsea actually. We do play Chelsea. Well, it'll be interesting. That's the last.
Okay,
That's the last
Chelsea. Chelsea
if
won't
that
make.
game's to determine, Chelsea will beat you like 5-0.
No, because it's at our home. It's not Stamford Bridge.
Doesn't matter.
Chelsea are really concerned with their Conference League games.
They're really concerned they'll be playing the kids.
I think I'm with you guys. I think Newcastle are probably the best out of all those teams this season.
I could genuinely say I'm challenging us in second.
I think it's too far gone. I think
It's
there's
only 5 points.
yeah, but I don't
if
think
we keep playing Champions League, there's a chance.
Arsenal will drop because I think Newcastle again will play. Because I look at it, they're all going to drop points at least two. They're going to draw, I reckon, with each other. So I think Newcastle the one. I think Forest are going to finish fourth. Because I feel like City are going to fall out because City tend to do this near the back end of the season now that they're not playing for much more. I feel like they got a game that's going to be tough. They play Newcastle.
They haven't lost for a long time.
Yeah, but I feel like they're due. And they're due. Looking at it as well.
Do you see who's at the worst form probably out of everyone there?
Yeah, no, it's us. We've lost 2 games. Look, I think it's probably going to be City in 5th. I'd go, Newcastle.
We give
us,
Villa no chance.
I was thinking about Villa, but I just feel like they're a game behind 6th.
Yeah, they're behind you.
So by the time we play, they're 2 games behind 4th or 3rd. They need a perfect
They
run.
also play Fulham, who's in good form.
They need a perfect
They have
run.
a fairly hard run home.
Yeah, they need a perfect run. So that's what I'm going with.
Don't make me get out of this seat. Come on in. You won't get in the water. You don't want to get his hair wet. Pretty boy.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, Lord.
Now we're getting to the pointy end of the first round of the playoffs, but one thing I'm getting really sad about this time of year is that this is the last year we're going to get inside the NBA with Ernie, Shaq, Kenny, and Chuck. What are we going to laugh at about now?
What are we going to laugh at with no talk about San Antonio women?
Yeah, that was like the most consistent meme on the podcast.
Why are we not going to laugh about running to a screen to touch it first?
I still love the fact that we talked about it, and 2 weeks later Chuck comes out talking to women from San Antonio.
And all of them reject him in the first thing.
But we're getting to the end of most of the first rounds. We've already got one team who've already won their series. The Thunder swept the Grizzlies. What a surprise.
I can't believe this.
I also don't like how Lou Dort didn't get a...
Well, he tackled him.
He tunneled him.
He's a linebacker.
Tunneled him.
That's the wrong American sport.
No, literally, he's playing NFL out there.
But there's been plenty of results. I think the talking point out of the last day is the Nikola Jokic 3 that he put up to win the game. He missed it, and Aaron Gordon puts it in.
Well, I'm saying, playoff Aaron Gordon's back.
That was ridiculous.
You can look at if you look at the photo frame or the video frame, you can see the bottom of the actual thing light up as it's going through the ring, and then it's fully
insane
out of his hand by the time it goes off. Couldn't have timed it any better.
Yeah, it was like a perfect play.
What a dime Nikola Jokic hit. He was definitely going for the pass.
That's why he's the MVP. It reminded me of another dunk, game-winning dunk the Clippers had on him in the NBA playoffs a few years ago. Remember DeAndre Ayton?
Oh, yes.
In the conference finals a few years ago with the alley-oop on the buzzer.
They do love it.
The Clippers are cursed. They're such a cursed franchise.
Well, that's 2-2 now in the series.
2-2.
Yeah. With
Great.
James Harden and Kawhi looking dominant the whole way through.
Ben Simmons actually defending okay.
He's playing some good defense.
He's always been good at defense.
Offense horrible.
It's the other end of the court. Just keep him in the key the whole time.
I'd say that's probably the best series out of the lot we've had in the first round.
Yes.
Yeah,
so many close games.
That are Golden State, Houston, I reckon.
That's a dogfight. That's just great defense. Oh, about that series, that is riding on Jalen Green. Because you saw what happened when he was good in game 2. He dominated
But
Houston.
they won. And then when he
Got
doesn't
out.
play well.
When he doesn't play well,
And I thought it was impressive for Golden State to win Game 3 with no Jimmy Butler as well. Buddy Hield turned up for the second time this season. What was good? What?
He loves dribbling. Jimmy Butler doesn't hate Buddy.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy
He
Butler
needs to
hates
stop dribbling. But I love seeing Draymond Green doing the nail polish to was it Jalen Green to paint your nails?
and then when Draymond thought he got fouled, but he wasn't fouled, he threw a temper tantrum and chased the ref down the court.
Yes.
Good idea, Draymond.
Do you reckon he's angry at not winning DPOY?
Probably.
He's got grey hair. All right, let it go.
But there has been some... The one thing I like about the NBA Finals, some role players come out and just have some one-off performances. We saw this on the Milwaukee Bucks. Gary Trent Jr., 37-point game in a Game 3?
Yeah.
No, game
He broke the franchise record for most threes in the playoff game.
Impressive.
How is that?
It's a shame that Milwaukee can't take a break because that was impressive. And then next game, Lillard comes out, torn Achilles. Now they're down 3-1 in the series against Pacers. Are you okay, Jimmy?
No, this happens every series, every single year. I can't name you a year since we first made the playoffs in this 8 years in a row run that we haven't had an injury. Even the finals they won, Giannis nearly blew his knee out, blew it in half. It's a miracle he came back. It's such a cursed franchise. It's all over. I hate Doc Rivers. I hate Cole Kuzma. I hate Taurean Prince. I hate Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham's the real culprit here.
Yeah, it's definitely him. He's just a chill guy.
Salute.
Well, Darvin Ham's ex-victims, the Lakers, we predicted them to be champions.
They're not even out of the first round.
Anthony Edwards is a dog.
He's
He's
fully
amazing.
realising his potential in this series alone.
Well, last year he took down Durant in the first round in a sweep.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does it to Luka and LeBron they can win it now in 5, that'd be pretty unreal.
He's got that, you can see he's got
He's
that mama mentality when it comes to playoffs.
He's a future face in the NBA.
So you're trying to make it like Jason Tatum.
No, because Jason Tatum's a wannabe.
Jason Tatum's the opposite of that.
He's a wannabe. He's just built with it.
Yeah, Ant is him. There's no other way of putting it. He's an absolute star.
He's finally realising just how good he is.
Yeah. Last year's run was amazing. See if I was just short. This year, if T-Wolves get through the first round and they get... I think the Houston Warriors series is going to be an absolute
They could
fight.
win either of that one.
Well,
Either team.
whoever they play, that series is going to be a hard fight. Whoever comes out of that is going to be...
Yeah, and then OKC are going to have a straight easy run.
OKC are doing what Boston did last year. They're just walking through it.
Easy.
Lucky.
But we'll go to the Eastern Conference because this matchup has been really exciting to watch so far. New York versus Detroit. It's been a tough back and forth battle.
Now my question about this. What the fuck did Detroit do to the refs?
The refs hate Detroit at the moment.
It's because the NBA wants New York to win.
Oh, yeah.
Bing bong.
Causes meltdown in New York.
New York collapses.
That's why I tipped it, because they're going to get through. But New York...
Today's game was ridiculous.
They're just surviving. It was a foul. Oh, I got no...
Oh, 100% it was a foul. He got hit in the ribs.
You can see... What's Detroit's coach again? It's
JJ Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff. He wants to punch the refs.
I think you'll be seeing like the whole Detroit team just walk into...
Mate, Isaiah Stewart's walking down the hallway and sees the ref room. He just takes a V line straight for him.
What do you mean it's not a V line? He's just jumping on them.
It's been unfortunate for them because they're a good young team.
It has been, but there's plenty still NBA going on. But we're going to come back to Australia, and I saw this only today. I saw this on my feed. But we're seeing some of the Australian stars, like your Dyson Daniels and Josh Giddey, back in Australia. Coming back, they got their time off. They can do what they want. But the one thing that impressed me the most, they went and supported the NBL 1. If you don't know what the NBL 1 is, it's the league below the NBL. Yeah. They got it's a nationwide competition too now.
It's the VFL equivalent for the
AFL.
AFL.
They've extended areas. You got like NBL 1 East, NBL 1 South, NBL 1, like it's the whole country. But I saw on my feed today, Dyson Daniels rocked up to another one Inspectors game, repping a Spectres jersey. That was awesome. He's
not even from there.
I know. He's a Bendigo guy who's won another one.
To be fair. Bendigo Braves, everything else sucks.
Imagine rocking up to another one in basketball centre and just seeing Dyson Daniels in the stand.
He got so robbed of DPOI, by the way.
Oh, that was the biggest rob.
How did Mobley win it?
As long as he wins and most improved, I'll be... I can...
So when Cade wins it...
Then we right. But then Josh Giddey was at what was he at? I think he was at a Waverley Falcons games.
He's been at every single AFL game possible.
Yeah, he was in a box with Fev.
Yeah, of course he's in a
What
box.
was that?
And they go
Is
there.
Fev checking for pressure points?
That's why the Osborne was going off on the weekend.
Well, yeah. Him and Nick Dacos and the Osborne. Still alive.
Oh, it was around the corner and then again.
The place is tiny as well. So
But yeah, go support out the NBL one.
it's good.
In the NFL draft, we had some funny things happen. Shadur Sanders sliding. That was pretty funny.
Slid hard.
Slid hard. One of the most generational slides of all time.
Prank calls galore.
That goal's so funny. Back to Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, it's
Atlanta
Atlanta.
Falcons released a statement about it.
Yeah, because it was one of their guys had Shadur Sanders' number, and the son came home and saw the number, and he was like, "I'm gonna write that down." It's so funny.
Well, anyway, there were some good stories out of the NFL draft before we do get to the funnier things.
Egg. They're expensive.
Ex-rugby player Jeremy Crawshaw was drafted in the 6th round. Now, when I say rugby player, what position do you reckon this player plays?
Australian going to the NFL.
It's
there a-
rugby.
Rugby. It would be defensive line or something.
One of the big defensive lines, yeah, sure.
You know, I'm still punter.
Still a punter.
I don't know how a rugby player got as a punter.
I was going to say, you just
I was going to say the only thing ever comes out of Australia for NFL is punters. Besides the guy from the Philly, what's his name?
Milata.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So Jeremy Crawshaw is from Western Sydney. Surprise, surprise. And he punted at Florida, averaged about 50 yards. It's pretty good.
Did Eddie Maguire's son make it?
Oh no.
Oh.
He barely got minutes for Ohio State.
I know.
That was almost Melmo. Have you seen all the footage around him at the the NFL draft party they had?
Yeah, I did see that.
He's just walking around these rings like he earned them. He punted twice in the championship.
Go Maguire. Santa does better than him.
Now, generational QB rise. Now this is compared to Sanders falling down. Tyler Shaw ended up going to the Saints in the 2nd round at pick 40. Now, the point is, he is 25 years old. He spent 7 years in college because he had 4 seasons ended with injury.
Why?
How was he even picked?
Who picked him?
The New Orleans
Saints. That was who apparently Shadur was supposed to go to.
Yeah. And almost the biggest part was that Derek Carr, their main quarterback, is injury prone. And they drafted an injury prone quarterback who spent more seasons out with injury than he did actually.
New Orleans sport franchise is amazing, man.
I also want to talk before we move on. Did you see when Shadur got drafted, the Cleveland Browns, when they were celebrating? They were like,
yeah,
they had they didn't want to do it, but they were like tied up and told you must take him.
No, they didn't need to. They could have left it.
Now they got 5 QBs on their roster.
Now Ashton Genty should have won the Heisman last year. He's a really good player.
Who was it? Was it Travis Hunter?
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
2nd overall pick as well. At 6, a running back, which 1 doesn't happen much these days. 2, he's 5'9". Like, he's really short, and the cameras were not adjusted for him. So when he was doing this whole part where he's looking at the camera with his hat and everything, it's literally just his hat.
It's just like a kid looking up there.
Yeah. But you can't even see his face. It's just his forehead hat.
It's good to be a running back at that height though. His lower center of gravity, his mass movement can be a lot
and he can
sharper.
fit through the lines because of this.
get through the 6'9" defensive lineman.
Oh my god.
Anyway, last major thing before we move on to my little funny side bit. Pat McAfee, now massive name for NFL recently.
And WWE.
Mostly NFL.
And WWE.
Shut the fuck up. Now, he is part of the draft broadcast now. He's a massive thing. He has his own show half the time as well.
Yeah, he's on college football Sunday.
Frank Mel Kiper, who's an old journalist who is just a Packers fan. He just screams about Packers. He was caught on video taking a hit from a CBD pen before broadcast when it was thrown up to him. He didn't ask anyone else on the thing. Who wants this? Who wants this? And no one else wanted it, and so he just threw it back at the crowd.
I love Pat McAfee.
That's fine.
He didn't deny that it was CBD, but we all know the
Goes
truth.
from getting choked out on Monday Night Raw to this.
Don't care what he does. Now, we love a certain man who says Lakers in 5.
Well, it's going to be in 5, but it's...
The other way around.
Lakers out in 5. Shannon Sharp, he used to play for the Denver Broncos.
In the Hall of Fame.
In the Hall of Fame. One of the best tight ends of all time.
The greatest media analyst of all time.
Now, he's been in a lawsuit recently for a certain alleged sexual assault rape case.
Let's just say alleged.
Alleged.
Very allegedly.
It's very much looking like it's a claim.
Unalleged?
Yes. It's not unalleged. Like, fake claim.
Oh, okay.
Now, Shannon Sharp, if you ever get the time, look up the text from this. She's claiming $50 million worth of damages for this apparently thing. Now, to put it in the context, she was asking for $25K per cheek in these texts. So, I'm not going to read all
We're not going to read this because we won't be able to post this on
can't
social media or
But
YouTube.
These are some of the craziest, horniest texts I've seen in my life.
It's not even him, but he's horny, but it's more her.
He said, I think out of this whole thing, he says one thing and it's the most tame response.
Yeah.
Like, it's if I knew how to do this.
Yeah.
If I did this.
If.
Yeah.
Where this is...
So what if?
This is a lot of crazy.
Oh, I just read this last one too.
Don't say it. That's horrendous.
It's so
That's
bad.
mental.
It's so bad.
He's cool.
It's so bad. And this
What
person is
is
asking
that?
for $50 million in damages for a case. I'm just saying, Shannon is getting off without probably getting his lawyers paid for.
He's probably also getting money in return for this.
Oh, Jesus.
And it only ended because he wouldn't pay for the last interaction where he said $25K per cheek.
Shannon.
Legs in 5.
Right, real close, and then they go.
No, it has to be the same distance. It has to be fair.
Oh, well, it's about 20 metres, max.
Okay, so 20 minutes. Bang. I'm literally going to put cement in my water bottle and go.
Alright, guys, we've arrived at our favourite part of each week we do this. It's Melon of the Week, if you don't know already. This is the time we look at 5 different people, organisations, teams throughout the sports world where they do dumb shit and we call them out for it. Good week again this week. Number 5, we're going to start off with not just the AFL media, but the AFL in general. Because I want to start. It's mainly the footy media for their reaction to what happened with Jason Horne-Francis.
Oh, hang on.
I hate you.
I hate the AFL media. After what happened with Jason Horne-Francis, you know. He's an emotional man, if you haven't told by
So
the way.
if Jason Horne-Francis does it, but then Harley Reid does it, but AFL love Harley Reid.
No, he got absolutely rammed in the media. He got his head held to the curb.
If Nick Dacos acted like this, they would not care. Is probably the best.
If it's
comparison.
most people in the league that's not named Jason Horne-Francis,
Harley
Reid, Jack Ginnivan.
Yeah, then it's fine.
They don't care.
It shows that they're passionate for the game. Dane Zorko did it.
Imagine if Billy Frampton did that.
No, he's just getting dropped.
Anyway, Jason Horne-Francis, late in the third quarter, obviously playing his old side North, who they don't like each other.
No, they don't.
That's very well known.
Fair enough.
Coupon
I
code.
think it was Jai Simpkin, a few of the other North boys are getting really stuck into him.
As you should.
Yeah, and he lost it a bit. 3/4 time, he comes in, he's fuming, all that. Ken Hingley's talking to him, and during when he's talking to him, you see Horne-Francis sort of move away, gets grabbed by a teammate to come back, listen to what he's saying. I definitely think he just thought he was finished talking, and then didn't realise he was going to keep going. Any AFL media saying it should be dropped for that? No.
He's also been one of the better players the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Probably in the top 5.
He's only the best player probably since starting the season.
He's probably in Port's. He's in Port's top 3 best players.
I mean, like
off the whole season.
Yeah, whole season.
He's one of Port's best players either way. He's also 21 years old. We forget about this. Like he's
He's younger than us. Well, your age.
He's my age. Like he's 21-year-old, like young player. This is gonna happen. It does not matter. It should not be dropped.
No.
You let your star players not do what they want, but you let them act like this, be all emotional. It's a good thing.
It's good to see someone actually show emotion.
Yes.
And everyone, Chris Ritaka, we had him at pressure point. but he was at least showing he was passionate for the club.
AFL media ran on about how no one just gives them anything, no one has any emotion ever. They're all just robots. And then when they do something like this and show that they care, they bring him down for it.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Who's the culprits?
Okay.
Literally 80% of the media.
Yeah.
Anyone that isn't named Kane Corns.
No,
Well,
Kane.
Kane.
Oh, sorry,
Kane
can't.
loves him.
So Kane can't do that because it's betrayal of his character.
Well,
Channel 9
Kane-
had the footy show had a split, a 50%.
Lloydie went off at him.
Yeah.
Damien Barrett didn't care.
Chompers didn't care.
Sloaney, I think, said it's a good thing that he's showing emotion.
No, who was the one who was the worst with it? It was what's her name from Channel 9? She's old.
What, Caro?
Yeah.
She's at Channel 7 now, mate.
She's Channel 7.
Yeah, she got transferred in the
That's
massive
right.
transfer.
That's
portal.
right. The transfer portal.
She'd have it.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, media, just like, please, for once, don't be stupid. Say your melons.
Number 4, we were talking about beforehand, generational slide. Shadua Sanders. Now, start off with the way he approached the whole draft process, mainly convinced by his dad that he was the greatest player of all time.
It's very American.
Did not go to the draft combine to do any actual work. Just wanted to speak. And when he said that, he said, if any team's out looking for a generational quarterback, don't draft me. Well, come on, mate. You didn't get drafted by 32 teams for 4 rounds. Also, his draft party. Have you seen his draft party?
Oh, his draft party was hilarious.
With the live stream.
Yes.
Yeah.
The phone call as well.
The phone call was the best bit of it.
The whole shoe rack thing of hats.
Yeah. It's like only half the team's actually there. And you're like, okay, great. You figured out that half the teams might draft you. Maybe your agent would know there's a lot less teams than that.
But their agent, his dad.
Yeah. And that's also my point. Shiloh Sanders had to leave his dad as an agent and get an actual agent because his dad was doing such a shit job. And he also called it out on the street. Shadua just looked upset every time he didn't get drafted. He just was so upset. And now he's going to be the 4th choice quarterback.
Mine would be the 5th.
No, Deshaun's not playing. He's injured.
We'd love Deshaun Watson. Great bloke.
You would say that. Anyway,
I'm joking.
For the whole draft process, everything that happened, Shadua.
What the hell?
You're just a massive melon.
Massive melon. Number 3, we're going to Anzac Day here, and we're going to call out the MCG here for the phone outage for the coaches.
And at least they're getting better than letting people with guns in.
So I have inside information here.
You're going to get shot?
This is... Again,
they have guns.
This is all speculation because I haven't confirmed that.
So it's allegedly.
Allegations. But allegedly, the MCG didn't do their due diligence. And because it was raining on Anzac Day,
really?
They had some cables that were out in the rain and they got wet and got induced. So they short-circuited. But then when they realised it short-circuited, they're like, oh, it's Channel 7 and Fox's fault. But we have all of our stuff tested and tagged and it's all tested rightly. So, MCG, you're at blame for the communication going out for the coaches the whole time. To be honest, Craig McRae did a great job saying, he just downplayed it, like it wasn't an issue.
It's because the difference is that Craig...
He's also boundary side too. And then
Brad Scott's always
in the box.
He's always in the coaching
But
box.
for MCG, first of all, screwing up, and then secondly, trying to take the blame away from yourself, you guys are melons.
Good thing you're... what test and tag does Channel 7 use?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Is it Jim's?
No. It's not Jim's.
Anyway. Number 2. Women's football's been... It's growing. It's growing.
Yeah.
Good standard.
Thanks, guys. This is progressive.
What woke?
Some people are concerned about female punditry in the women's game. One in particular is Eni Aluko. Now, I don't know if you know her.
I know who Eni Aluko is.
She was England international for about a few games.
Not many.
Not many. She played at a high level at the time. And she's also become a major pundit. Now, she's bad at her job. I'll say that far. She's had some absolute shockers. She may be the most annoying person. She might be worse than Kelly Underwood.
She is.
Now, she had she actually got in hot water with her whole broadcasting company because she said that people like Ian Wright, Arsenal legend, major pundit, major advocate for women's football, people like him are taking away opportunities from female footballer pundits, and it's just a continuation of males dominating the football. Ian Wright himself has donated at least $300K to women's football over his time. He paid for 150 coaches to get their training. His whole motto is football for all. I don't care who you are, football for all. And he genuinely is probably the best pundit in female football.
Yeah.
Not because he's a male person coming across, because he cares so much for female football.
He's a massive advocate for it, and that's his push.
The problem is there are some good female pundits. Like one of mine, I listen to a lot. I can't remember what her name is, but her Instagram hat's like Stunt Peg. I can't remember her name is. She does a lot of Sky Sports stuff.
I don't remember the name.
I can't remember her name, but she's a brilliant pundit. Like her knowledge is unbelievable. And some other brilliant female
Tara
pundits.
Rushton was a massive pundit. She's now more host, but she was.
But there's some great female pundits. But Emmy Aluko is just.
She. It's probably the worst person ever to call out. She apparently apologized. Like she said, sometimes I say things and I don't mean to cop some people in strays.
That's your whole job as a pundit, is to say your opinion. Maybe think.
You're an opinionist.
And so Ian Wright said, I'm not accepting that a bullshit apology. And apparently now, she could be dropped from her...
as she should be.
From network.
Well, yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah. So anyway, for being a dum-dum, Eddie Aluko, you are a melon.
Yep, not number one though. Number one, we spoke about them a little bit earlier when we were talking about football. Real Madrid, and in particular, Antonio Rudiger.
Not Anthony.
Did you write Anthony?
Sorry, apologies.
Oh my god. Anyway, as we spoke about, Real Madrid played Barcelona in the Copa del Rey final. Very close game, very intense game. Late on, Barca up 3-2. Madrid, I can't remember, it was Mbappe into the box.
He dived, yeah.
Yes. Potentially foul, potentially a dive. Anyway, big penalty shout, as you know, as it happens. Ref doesn't call it. Doesn't get called. Everyone on the bench for Real Madrid, and in particular Antonio Rudiger, just lost their shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, say in a scenario like that, close game, how are you going to react on the bench?
I'd be upset.
Be upset, but you don't storm.
You really... That's it.
Would you consider throwing 2 bags of ice onto the ground is a questionable decision?
Not onto the ground, at the referee.
Yeah, at the referee.
No.
Whilst attempting to charge at them.
Oh, maybe throw something at the ground, but not at the football pitch, at the referee.
Oh, they are just so entitled and play the victim.
It was same with Vinicius Junior was out there as well, screaming, carrying on.
I think three players got red carded in the end. It was Rudiger, Bellingham, and someone else.
I can't remember off my head.
Can't remember.
Might have been Vinny. Who knows? Anyway, Rudiger, what the fuck?
He's very passionate at times.
Passionate, but there's a difference between passion and just being a dumbass.
Oh, this is incredibly dumb.
Yeah, it's just stupid. They're falling apart, Madrid. Ever since Arsenal have slapped them up, it's all gone wrong.
I think it was definitely Barcelona beating for the third and fourth time this year.
I think also it was when Carlo Ancelotti went, I'm not managing here next season, bye-bye.
I go to Brazil.
No. Anyway, Madrid and in particular Antonio Rudiger, you're our number one melons of the week. Just dumb.
So dumb.
You see they weren't going to rock up to the Copa del Rey final because of the referee? The referee was in tears about this and they were not going to show up because they didn't like the referee.
They can just grow up. It's just...
They're always the head of the Super League. They just want their way.
Their way or the highway.
Yep.
Anyway.
Bunch of dogs.
Good pod.
Anyway.
Good pod.
Good chat.
Good thoughts.
Good yap sesh.
Yeah. Good yap. No real topic. No feelings or horn.
No, I feel next week we have to have a feelings or...
Well, what should our next week's pod be? Angry pod?
No. No, angry pod yet. All of our teams lose one weekend.
Then we go angry pod.
Yeah.
Or we start the pod just wrestling each other.
I reckon awkward pod next week.
How do we do that?
Will you just speak like you just speak?
We'll come up with a good idea for next week.
It's a good idea.
Mm.
Check our socials out as well.
Check those out.
TikTok and Instagram's going off.
We're getting good views. Someone's putting in a lot of hard work.
Oh my
gosh.
Vlog.
I'm Ethan Stone.
I'm James Isles.
I'm John DePerry.
Stay Nuffin.